All right, Shalom, my Kim. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Rakha, Kodash. I'd like to give double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. I'd like to say Shalom to the elect that's teaching His word in all true faith and sincerity. And today I just want to title this lesson, The Return of Yahawashi. And this is what we're coming close upon, man. That's the climax of life and existence, the return of Yahawashi, man. And these devils are preparing, for the return of Yahawashi, which they already know the fashion he's coming. And it's going to be in that so-called UFO, which is the chariots of the Most High, man. That's heaven's army. And that's why you have the Pentagon. Out of all, not NASA, it's the Pentagon, which is that's military talk concerning this government. They're the ones that's reporting so-called UAP sightings, Well, that's what they termed it as. Instead of so-called UFO, they changed the term to a UAP. So I got this article from military.com, and it reads, Trump opens UFO files in historic government release. And there's so much shit going on now. They telling you it's so-called things outside of this realm. But there's so much shit happening. The people can't be focused on one thing. Got this war taking place, which causing, a global energy crisis. It's only getting worse. Gas, $5. Yeah, the groceries and shit still getting higher. It's other shit that's happening that they telling you it's aliens too on top of this. Let's show you we in the end of the world, man. It says President DJ Trump administration on Friday opened a new government UFO portal, releasing declassified records, videos, and photos and documents tied to unexplained area encounters as part of what officials called a historic transparency push. Fucking nigga, man. Yeah, they talking about transparency. Yet, the Epstein, them niggas so-called released it yet. 98% the shit blocked out. And it's just the further keep the people distracted. The niggas now, instead of talking about Epstein, niggas could be talking about the aliens now. And they say, hey, well, yeah, they pedos, but it's a bigger threat that's not even on, These devils ain't shit, man. Let's see. It said the new database hosted at war.gov/UFO. See? So that war in heaven is making more sense now. It says including material tied to identify area anonymous phenomena, UAPs, through an air agency effort called the Presidential Unsealing and Report System for UAP Encounters or Pursue. It says Trump directed the Department of War to identify and release government files related to alien and extraterrestrial life, unidentified area phenomena, and identified flying objects because he is the most transparent president in history. White House spokesperson Anna Kelly said the statement to military Reddit.com Friday morning. Nigga said the American people asked and Trump delivered. Enjoy. So release the Epstein files all the way, nigga. But just going back to the point, hey, this is concerned Return of Yahawashi, man. You know, these devils really it's only two classes of people that really anticipating the return of Yahawashi. That's the elect. No, you can get that in First Timothy. It talks about those that are anticipating his coming, man. But then you also have those Edomites, the powers that be. They're anticipating the return of Yahawashi because them niggas got the report, man. Matter of fact, let's start off with that. I think that's Luke 14. The king coming with the 20,000. I think it's Luke 14. Bear with me. This is the book of St. Luke 14, verse 31. It reads, or what king going to make war against another king sitteth not down first and consulteth whether he be able with 10,000 to meet him that come against him with 20,000. So, and this is the report that this devil was given, that the king is coming to take over, man. You know, that's what they do. You know, they will send ambassadors before they come to let you know what's up, and pretty much telling the devil that he's really outnumbered, outmatched. He's outweighed, you know, all the stacks compared to the Lord. It pales in comparison, man. And that 20,000 is going to them chariots. Let's get that real quick before we go back. I think that's Psalm 68. Psalm 68 and 17, it reads, the chariots of the Most High, 20,000, even thousands of angels. The Lord is among them as in Sinai in the holy place. See, the Lord, Yahawashi, that's Yahawashi, is among them. Because he's going to lead the charge. Oh, it even talks about that in Song of Solomon. Is parabolic, talks about the bed of Solomon. And how they gonna have those valiant men with him that's going to them chariots, man. Matter of fact, let's see if I can find it real quick. I know it's in Song of Solomon. Right. This is on Song of Solomon 3 in verse 7. It says, behold his bed, which is Solomon's. 80 valiant men are about it of the valley of Israel. They all hold swords, being experts in war. Every man has his sword upon his thigh because of fear in the night. And that's going into those chariots, man. That's really going into those heaven's army, because that bed, that's what that rest is gonna. That's when that rest is gonna really begin, man. Once we go into those chariots. Oh, it talks about those chambers. Us going into those chambers till the nation be overpassed. That's once again those chariots, but it said even have those valiant men around, those angels, man, being experts in war, because that's the time we in. We in the time of war. From the war on information to it's going to be a war on fools, but even a world war, even the war in heaven, which that's concerning as we read, really Esau and his army is trying to fight the heaven host. So let's go back to St. Luke 14. St. Luke 14 in verse 31, it reads, or what king going to make to war against another king sitteth not down first and consulteth whether he be able with 10,000 to meet him that cometh against him with 20,000? Or else while the other is yet a great way off, he sendeth an ambassador of peace, and it's like he sent him an ambassador and desire condition of peace. And that's what we have done. We waving the white flag. We Yahawashi Yahawashi, man. We don't want no smoke with the Lord. When it talks about I heard that speech and was afraid, that's the proper reaction. And you want to send for conditions of peace. You waving the white flag because you understand he ain't gonna win that battle, and that's what this devil is gonna find out. See, when Yahawashi returns, it's not gonna be like how these niggas going at it with Iran. You back and forth. It's a week now. Yahawashi still trying to see no, man. Pretty much his return gonna seal the deal. Anyway, let's get that in oh man, what's the man? Let's see. Talk about the many crowns. It might be 19 or 11. Right. Matter of fact, that's a spirit. Let me jump up on this. Yep. Started Revelation chapter 19, started verse 11. It reads, and I saw heaven open, and behold, a white horse, and he that sat upon him was called Faithful and True, and in righteousness he doth judge and make war. See, and that's concerning Yahawashi, Lord Yahawashi, riding upon that white horse, which is a so-called UFO. Man, white horse is pretty much going to be pure power, man. You're going to actually feel that presence, that power. We all are. That's why, man, it's going to be so much chaos. As I mentioned earlier in the spirit, you got all this shit going on. Yet, when the Lord returns, everything's going to stop and acknowledge him. Talk about the waves and even the fishes, pretty much going to stop at his presence, man. It says, his eyes were as a flame of fire, and on his head were many crowns. See, that's the takeover. See, all these kings of the earth, that's going to be it. That's when their time is going to be officially up when the Lord returns, man. Because he's going to bring forth that deliverance as well as that destruction that's going to cut them off. And he was clothed with a vesture dipped in blood. It's like, read this again. It says, his eyes were a flame of fire, and on his head were many crowns. And he had a name written that no man knew but he himself. And he was clothed with a vesture dipped in blood, and his name is called the Word of the Most High. We know that's concerning Lord Yahawashi. The faithful and true, as well as the Word, as his name. Those are different titles. But as you can see, the spirit he was coming in, the spirit of war. And the result is that he was clothed in a vesture dipped in blood. We can read that in Isaiah 63. Show you the target. Because Yahawashi, he's coming straight to America, man. It says, and the arms which were in heaven followed upon him upon white horses. Follow him upon white horses, clothed in fine linen, white and clean. See, and we read that as well in the Song of Solomon. Those valiant men, man. And yeah, as I mentioned, the Lord, he's coming straight to America, man. It talks about that in Zechariah, how those chariots are going to enter into the house of the thief. This is where the most so-called UFO sightings are, man. Because this is where the main event is going to take place, from the deliverance, the main event of the deliverance, as well as the main event of the destruction, man. This is the book of Jeremiah 49. In verse 22, it reads, "Behold, he shall come up and fly as the eagle." Who is that? That's concerning our Lord. When I say he shall come up and fly as the eagle, meaning he's going to be in the air and spread his wings over Boston. So meaning what? He's going to hover over America. And that chariot, it ain't just going to be a speck, like just covering the city of Birmingham. No, this chariot is going to cover America. That's why I say it's going to spread his wings over Bosra. This is going to be a huge chariot. And at that day, the heart of the mighty men of Edom, and that's concerning his military, shall be as the heart of a woman in her pain. See? So they're going to pretty much shit bricks when they really come to face with the Lord, man. Because you have these certain signs and you have these chariots to play, play around with these devils. Do certain things to show you that they can't mess with them, man. They defy all the laws of this world, of gravity, and it can stop on a dime. It can go into the water without losing speed or being destroyed. It can come out the water the same fashion. It can go into the heavens. It don't have to stop and refuel. And they're going to really witness it on display when the Lord get the green light to destroy this place, man. This is Isaiah 31. In verse 3, it reads, "Now the Egyptians are men and not the Most High." See? "And their horse is flesh and not spirit." Because Esau, he got to gas up. And now we at the point where this nigga, his technology, he's so ready, anticipating that this nigga gassing up in the air. He got certain air vehicles to where they just set up to refuel other aircrafts in the air. So despite all this technology, this nigga still got to make sure that they tank full. You got to still make sure the maintenance on it, the bullets are loaded. They can potentially jam. The chariots can fuck with the radar system. Hell, the person controlling, they got to slow it down. They can't stop and turn. You got to do the laws of gravity, the laws of physics, they say. There's certain things we're bound by in this realm, gravity and shit, and time. So they have no match concerning heaven's host. It says, "When the Lord shall stretch out his hand, both he that help him shall fall, and he that hope him shall fall down, and they shall all fall together. For the Lord spoken unto me like as the lion and the young lion roaring on his prey. When a multitude of shepherds call forth against him, he will not be afraid, nor abase himself for the noise of them. So shall the Lord of hosts come down and fight for Mount Zion and for the hill thereof." See? This is how our king is going to come and fight for it. Hey, just like Egypt, the Lord, that chariot, that same chariot is coming back, man. As birds flying, so will the Lord defend Jerusalem. See, so that's showing this how fashion the Lord is returning. Defending, he will deliver it, and passing over, he will preserve it. See? Let me show you this part of that new Passover as well, man, because it's gonna be we come to the climax of death, and especially when those missiles come, Gotta be in those chariots, man. Talk about in the 7th, shall no evil touch thee. How? Going into those chambers till the inclination be overpassed. But just going back to the point is how the Lord is returning in an aerial fashion. By the way, of those so-called UFOs. Also, what's that? 2nd Ezra, the 13th chapter. It actually goes into the war in heaven, and that's what like I said, in the spirit is making more sense. It's becoming clearer and clearer. This nigga got lasers in space, these different fighter jets. Trump came up with the Space Force, but it don't mean nothing. It's just to fight the Russians. No, man. No, they're anticipating the return of Yahawashi. As a matter of fact, to end off from this, Revelation 1. It says in 7 it reads, behold, he cometh with clouds. And that's Yahawashi coming and returning with those chariots. And every eye shall see him, and they also which pierced him. See? So those men that pierced the Lord, they back. Most likely they're in the military, or probably top general, someone or high ranking. So they could personally get that memory back when he returned, man. It said, all the kindreds of the earth shall wail because of him, even so am I. So they're going to wail wild because the Lord is going to uproot this place, man. See, them chariots comes going to be like something like Mars attack. In a sense, not the alien, the roundhead aliens themselves, but them niggas coming and not playing. They going to be coming to uproot shit, man. This system. And that's why they have the Pentagon reporting, because it's a threat unto them. But these are the vehicles of our salvation, but it's going to be to their destruction. So yeah, I hope this will edify. I'd like to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Rakha, Kudash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Shalom to the elect. That's Jesus' word in all true faith and sincerity. Shalom.